Welcome back, everybody. Now, before you click ahead and skip this intro, because I know you guys usually do this, hear me out for the next 20 to 30 seconds. This video is about the optimal FPL strategy that I use and that I used last year to achieve top 10k. And I want to make a deal with you guys. If you watch the whole video and you think maybe it's a waste of your time, then I am telling you, you can unsubscribe, dislike the video, hell, even leave a nasty comment. But if you do find it useful, and I'm sure you will, and if you find it entertaining or it inspired you to play the game a little bit differently, then please subscribe, like, and you can express your opinion in the comment section. And without further ado, let's get to the good stuff. So guys, before we get to this very nice graphic that I built, let's first quickly discuss the first item on the talking points list, which is the chips. Now, as you guys know, we have 4 chips to play in the first half of the season, and the most important chip being the wildcard, and it's the one that you have to plan for the most because it has the potential to completely turn your whole team around. And to quickly discuss it, as you guys know, most people are going for that game week 13 wildcard, and in my opinion, you'd be crazy not to, unless of course you have a lot of fires to put out. Your team has suffered a lot of injuries, like this Ait Nouri recent injury, Saka, Palmer. I know things happen, so it's understandable if you have used it already or will use it. But again, I'm just explaining my point of view and what the optimal strategy would be. And in terms of wildcard, if we go to fpl.team, one of my most favorite websites, I literally advise you guys all to use it. You can clearly see that on game week 13, you have a huge swing for Liverpool and City. So notice the gray and red, and then notice the sea of green. Notice that Liverpool play 2 of the 3 promoted sides in the next 3 game weeks. So do Man City. And not only that, Liverpool do play West Ham as well, who have been the whipping boys these first 2 game weeks. So look at this crazy switch of fixtures. So that's why everybody is eyeing game week 13 as the perfect place to wildcard. And I think that's the first step to the strategy. The first step is to kind of figure out when you plan to play the different chips. And I've chosen game week 13, as many other content creators have. And without choosing the perfect spot to play it, you really make your life much harder, and planning becomes, just not so easy. So that's step number 1, in my opinion, if you still have your wildcard, is to set a specific game week. Of course, it's not like set in stone, but at least have a plan. Like, having a plan is better than no plan at all, right? So currently I'm on that game week 13, and let's get to the next talking point. So this talking point is going to be very quick. People know that captaincy is quite important, but sometimes they sacrifice captaincy in order to get maybe their favorite defender. They see their team having this excellent run of fixtures, and they're like, oh my god, we have to get Gabriel and Saliba or whatever, whilst ignoring the captain. The captaincy is like another chip. It's a weekly chip where it's always active. It doubles the points of the player that you assign it to. So essentially, you're looking at, it's like double captain. Imagine you had a chip called double captain, and it's being played every single week, whether you like it or not. So that's how important captain is. You're getting double the player. Something I see a lot of people do is they, like I just mentioned, they overlook the best captain, or even sometimes the second best captain in a game week, just to get that nice, defense transfer, or like that budget midfielder, which in my eyes is kind of not the most optimal way to play the game. And all of this will make more sense once I get to the next couple of talking points. Now, the exciting stuff. Now we look at this graphic, the very nice graphic that I made using Excel, of course, nothing too fancy. And I'll quickly describe what's going on. So since I told you guys I'm planning to wildcard in game week 13, I pretty much lined up all the game weeks in between, which are 3 to 12, and kind of just trying to figure out which team has the best fixtures, second best, third best, who's the best captain, who's the second best captain. ideally you'd want all these players. You'd always want like the top 3 performers, or like top 4, top 5, whatever. Like you want the best team every single week, right? Or the players that will score the most points every single week. So I'll go through the different fixtures. You can see this right here. You can even pause the video if you want to have a closer look, because I'm going to be jumping around this and kind of telling you how I got to this. So if we go here, and let's start with Game Week 3, for example. So who has the best fixtures? It's pretty obvious. It's United, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, hell, even Spurs, maybe even Wolves, because Everton tend to concede a lot of chances. Liverpool obviously don't have a good fixture. They're playing the best defense in the league. City actually they do have a good game, in my opinion. Haaland could do very well against Brighton away. And so all I'm doing is I'm going through week by week and trying to find out who the best captain is and who the best vice captain is. And of course, this is very subjective. You guys might have one opinion, I might have another, and that comes down to how you guys see teams perform. You know, it's all about that eye test, about the if you're a very numbers driven person, then it's all about that, I don't know, XGI or statistics, whatever you look at. I tend to look at both XGI and eye test, but I do prefer the eye test because I watch most of the games. I don't know, I guess I don't have that many friends here in the UK. But honestly, no, I love watching football, and I tend to watch, like, I swear, six games or 7 games. Even the ones that happen at the same time, I usually have my screen or both my screens set to at least 2 of the matches. So I tend to watch 6 to 7. I think eye test is the best way to watch or to make a decision. So, but let's quickly together go through who we think is the best captain. I think that'll be fun for both of us. So I'll quickly go here and I'll show you that I've already done this exercise, but we could do it together right now. So let me, again, you guys can pause right here and go through the list, the fixture ticker, and, you know, kind of compare what you've chosen and what I've chosen. Yeah, but I'll go through it right now as well. So, Game Week 3, as we said, who is the #1 captain? It's a little bit tricky this week because I think it's going to be a United player. Hell, it could even be Wood. It could have been Gordon had he not gotten that red card. But again, subjectively, I think I would go for a United player. In fact, I think I might even go for Cunha, which is, some people might consider crazy. Some people might consider, you know, I don't know, because United haven't been playing well at all. But actually, I say that, but they did play very well against Arsenal. They had plenty of chances, nothing, you know, clear cut, no huge chances, but they were the better attacking team, right? And that's Arsenal we're talking about, the best defense in the league. They did regress a little bit against Fulham. I say that, but in the first half, they also had a lot of chances. The second half, it is when, you know, it all went downhill from there. And if you ever think, you know, a team should turn things around, then it has to be Burnley at home. If they don't turn it around then just, it doesn't make sense. Like football and logic and everything is just thrown out of the window. Because come on, like, Amorim has to win this game. The team is good enough, you guys, like, you know, on paper and all that stuff. I think I've talked about this too much, but Cunha is my preferred captain for Game Week 3. 4, and I'll run through these quickly. I know I keep rambling on. Liverpool, obviously Salah is the best captain, and then maybe Mateta. Moving on, again Salah. Do we have somebody else? Again, it's also Mateta in my eyes, like as the second best captain. Would also maybe third. Moving on. What do you guys think? So I think, oh, obviously Haaland, and then, so Spurs have a good game, but the thing about Spurs is we don't know, like, I don't trust Richarlison to start the game, or, you know, to play all 90 minutes because there's Solanke, and but at that point in time they would have Champions League games, and trust me, that will cause rotation. There's no way in hell that doesn't cause rotation, and I hate players that get rotated. I wouldn't mind having one or two, but when it comes to captaincy, you want that nailedness, you want that assured start and even finish, because teams tend to score very late on because, you know, teams get tired and they leave themselves open to the counter attack and all that stuff. So long story short, it's definitely Haaland and then maybe Wood. And Liverpool don't look that nice because they have Crystal Palace away and Chelsea away. So at that point, you know, you might look at transferring Salah out, as crazy as that might sound to some of you. Some of you have, you know, already transferred him out or never liked him or had him to begin with. Moving on, let's both check. So obviously West Ham, whipping boys so far. Apologies to any West Ham fans if they're watching this, but it's got to be Gyökeres or is it Gyökeres? Whatever. So Gyökeres, whatever, or Saka, Watkins. Again, it could be Bruno or Cunha. Man City as well against Brentford. Brentford aren't that good. I don't know why they're gray over here, but Haaland is also an option. But I would say Arsenal attackers or Watkins. Game week 8, it's pretty obviously Haaland. Yeah, Everton kept a clean sheet that they should never have kept against Brighton, by the way. And yeah, they're known to be that defensive team, and Tarkowski with his DEFCON points and all that stuff, but that's just nonsense. They concede a lot of chances, and that's what matters at the end of the day. And if Haaland is in the right position, he will get those goals. He does miss a lot, to be honest, but what you're looking for is that, you know, a player that gets the chances to begin with. Whether he scores these or not, that's just down to how fortunate you are, you and that player, of course. But yeah, so Haaland, literally, I think game week 8 is Haaland and Salah. Sorry, because United, I'm a United fan. I keep saying this every video, and I think we'll do good. I have to have that belief as a fan, but I don't trust our defense, and I guess Salah does. It does count as a good game for Salah. I'm not gonna lie. Again here, I mean, these I'll just go through very quickly because it's obviously going to be either an Arsenal player or a Chelsea player, because Chelsea have Sunderland, then Wolves, then Burnley, with Spurs in between, and then Arsenal have Burnley and Sunderland in 10 and 11. But let's quickly check the other ones, particularly Liverpool and City. Nothing exciting, especially when they meet each other. I know City doesn't have the best defense, even Liverpool doesn't have the best defense, but would you rather captain one of these players or Palmer home at Wolves, or Arsenal away to Sunderland, you know, like Saka or Gyökeres? Even West Ham, those of you guys who are you know, like to play a very risky game, you can go for your Bowen. I would never in my life, because I would definitely have an Arsenal and Chelsea player at that point. But long story short, game weeks 9 to 12 are pretty obvious, so I won't go through them anymore. But let's quickly circle back to the graphic, and you can see I kind of pointed out everything I just mentioned. They're right here. So long story short, what you're trying to achieve is to have the best captain of that game week in your team, so you can, you know, have a stress-free game week, so to speak. And sometimes you will be able to have the second, hell, even the third or fourth best captain. And you might be saying, well, how can that be possible? All these players are super expensive. How can you have them all at once? Well, you can actually, because you won't always have Haaland and Salah at the same time. So guys, this is the team right here. And I've already made 2 transfers on FPL.team. I haven't made them in the actual game yet. Actually, I have made Cunha because of the price rise, which is something I don't advise people to do, but you know, that 0.1 is so annoying if you miss out on it, because if I was left with 0.4, that'll make things extremely hard, you know, for me to get other players, just because of that 0.1. Anyways, I have moved to Cunha, and the second transfer is Strand Larsen, which, by the way, might go to Newcastle. Either way, I wouldn't mind, because I think both these teams have excellent fixtures, and I don't trust any other 6.5 forward or below. And yeah, I do have Gakpo outside. I could always play him. if anything happens, any surprise comes up, I don't mind Gakpo, you know. Like, I have 8 attackers that I trust. But yeah, the whole point is, do we have the best captain? Yes, we do. We have the best captain. We have even, maybe you can consider Fernandes as the second, or even the best captain. We have the 2 best captains, essentially, in my eyes. Are we missing on anybody? Yeah, we're missing on Haaland as the second best captain, in my opinion, but it's not the end of the world. Moving on. This game week, we don't do any transfers. The question is always, though, do we have the best captain? Yes, we do. Do we have the second best captain? We also have the second best captain in Mateta. Game week 5, do we have the best captain? Yes, we do. Second best, we also do. Mateta and Watkins. So we have like three of the best players for that game week, literally. Game week 6, do we have the best captain? Yes. Why? We actually moved Salah on. I know that's scary for some people who always like to have the record breaker, the best FPL player ever, which is, you know, the Egyptian king himself. But at that point in time, I think, of course, all this might change depending on what happens. Haaland might be injured, for example, but we're assuming. Again, what I said earlier, having a plan is better than having no plan. And at this point, we would have saved 3 transfers, hopefully. I think it'll be easier for me to do because I said I would have like 8 attackers to choose from, so it wouldn't be that difficult. But either way, so Salah moves down to, again, I just did this quickly, so it could be another midfielder other than Arias, any cheap midfielder, even Pape Matar Sarr from Spurs, who costs 5, so you would even save more money. And yeah, and then I moved Mateta to Haaland because he has Liverpool. And we know like Liverpool doesn't have the best defense, but at the same time, I want Haaland and I want to keep Watkins for his next few games because he has, or next game at least, Burnley at home. I don't want to lose him until then or before then. And Strand Larson is like a long, not set of forget, but like I want to keep him for the Sunderland and Burnley games. So I chose Mateta to move to Haaland. And again, the most important thing is to have the best captain. And in my eyes, that's Haaland. And the second best captain that week is... What game week was this? 6. Well, oh yeah, Wood. And I'm not getting Wood, so no worries. Game week 7. So, 7 is where Arsenal's fixtures turn and they play West Ham. So you have to have a Arsenal player, in my opinion. Now, of course, I could get Gyökeres, but I mean, if I already have Watkins at home to Burnley, Strand Larson, who's cheap, who should be on penalties, even if he moves to Newcastle, should be on them. And both Newcastle, okay, no, Newcastle is the much better team that I wouldn't mind having their, you know, #1 striker. And Wolves is the not so good team, but amazing fixtures, and he's again the go-to striker for that team. So it's very tough to fit Gyökeres in here. So that's why I went for Saka, who I think can cover. And by the way, Haaland is also a feasible captain that week. So you do have, oh, I just realized, also Fernandes and Cunha. So you have literally, and Watkins. Okay, this is literally the best team ever, game week 7. So I could get to that stage. And I like that that I could. So we've covered literally every single team for that game week. Game week 8 is where it gets a little bit tricky, but I do intend to bench boost. And there's another week I could bench boost in, I'll show you in a second. But again, let's focus on the main talking point, which is who is the best captain for that week, and it's definitely Haaland. And do we have the second best? You could say it's Salah. Let's see how they play. Let's see how United improve or, you know, regress. I doubt they're gonna get any weaker. But clearly Haaland is the best captain. And do we have him? Yeah, we do. So we're in good hands. We're doing, you know, we're doing our bit. The rest falls on the FPL gods and you know, statistics and numbers, and hopefully they do work out. Game week 9, we use 3 transfers. We get 3 of those juicy Chelsea players. Again, this might change. It all depends on how, like, what happens. This is game week 9. Literally, we don't, like, I could tell you right now, 100% this won't be my team. Not because I can't get to it. Of course I can get to it. I even have 5 million outside. But because injuries will happen, suspensions, rotations, you name it, it's going to happen. But the amazing thing is we have 3 fixtures and we're ready. We are ready to transfer in that optimal, that best captain for that week. Hell, you can even get the second and third best, who would be... let's move back to the other. So that would be... what game week are we in? 9. So Salah... who does Salah have? 1 second. Brentford away. We could even move to Salah at that point. What matters is you always have that in mind, like who the best captain, who the second best, third best. As long as you have these players in your team, you're golden. And I'm showing you guys literally that you could always have the 2 or 3 best players every single week if you kind of plan for it. But it does come at an expense. I need to stop right here and say that the expense is you're using a lot of your transfers to on the attackers, which is, by the way, what you should be doing, but you might be missing out on some transfers where you can shore up your goalkeeper or defenders. But that's just not my style. I know some people like to do that. They like the entire team to look good, but I don't think that's possible because you have just, so many transfers to use. You're gonna have to use them somewhere, and you can't use them on 4 or 5 different positions every week. So like the sacrifice we made so far, for example, is not having Gabriel or an Arsenal defender. But you could like, even looking at this team, you could have sacrificed Chalobah and instead gotten Gabriel, for example, if you really want him for this stretch of fixtures. Or we could have gotten him for a -4 way earlier in game week 7. But you can clearly see that our entire team looks good, and we've always had the main captain or like the 2 or 3 best players. Again, game week 10, that's where I intend to use the free hit, because I got 3 Chelsea players playing my 2 Spurs defenders. The bench looks awful, maybe except Reinders. Yeah, Wolves have a tough game against Fulham. Fulham, I think I rate very highly defensively, especially when they play at home. Yeah, okay, I got Saka and Gyökeres, but I want more than 2 decent players for that game week. And I guess I would target... I'd get 3 Arsenal. I might get like Rutter, some Everton, some Fulham. Who else? Some Newcastle if Gordon's back, and God knows what that team's gonna look like if Isak's there. I doubt it, but maybe he would be. But again, let's focus on the talking point, which is having the best captain. And now we're game week 11. We're almost there. We're 1 game week away. You can see we have the best captain. Oh, no, I meant Palmer, actually. With the best captain, second best captain, or Saka, depends on who you prefer. And City play Liverpool, so you're in good hands. You're at a very, very, good stage at that point. Game week 12, the last game week. Your team is looking amazing. You have the best captain. And if you want Watkins, he's technically like the second best captain. And if you hate Porro playing away to Arsenal, you can always play Stev, I guess. Or you have so much money and a transfer to use. You can get whoever you want. You can get Gabriel, whatever. And next game week is a wild card. And... oh, there's only 2 players in defense. Whatever. But yeah, so I had a little bit of fun. I was just trying to see what the team would look like. Don't pay this any attention. Actually, no, that's not the one I prepared. Never mind. There was one that I prepared, but that's not it, because I can still see Chelsea and Arsenal players. Anyways, so that was it for this part of the video, where I show you that it is possible to have the best captain and second and third best sometimes in one single game week if you just focus and plan ahead. So guys, if you got this far into the video, I'd like to thank you, and I really appreciate you guys watching. If you found it useful, which I think you must have found it useful to watch this far, then again, subscribe, like the video. Please like the video. Don't just, skip. Like the video, because I need more people to see this so I can, do what I love, which is this stuff, where I go through different strategies, talk about different transfer plans and all that stuff. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, because after all, this is supposed to be entertaining more than anything. Entertaining and educating, of course. Yeah, I ramble quite a lot, so let's just get this over and done with. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers.